Hello guys, I'm Fa. Sorry for the late update of Lightning Strike Rider build. For those who not follower of the build, we will still talk about main concept about this build. Build follower also can watch this part to make sure you are fully understand the build and you didn't miss anything. This is very late game situations of the build, so it won't be budget. You can check my previous video and follow it step by step to here. So we are using Nimis and Matchblood. Nimis is the ticket of the build. The build not gonna be good without Nimis in this league. Matchblood allow us to run very dangerous to see tier 60 map in late game. We can do all contents without Matchblood except to see map and tier 17 map in this league. This build have very comprehensive defense, good recovery, insane performance in map clearing and single target. The DPS is 80 million vaal focus and berserk, 35 million vaal not focus and berserk. And this is not the build like face tank everything, we can still die sometime. If we really wanted to be very tanky, we can use Progenesis, but 6 Porters Scorn is basically so rare in this build. We will always finish our juicy map in most cases. We will start with base damage. 3 Elemental is our base damage type, Claw is our weapon. Germany is a little bit weaker than Imperial in DPS, but Germany gain mana and gain lesser life. Just make sure you are using life gain on hit implicit claw and get mana leech in passive skill tree if you don't have mana gain on claw. This is all my flat elemental damage on my gears and jewel. Just keep in mind physical and chaos damage not gonna improve the DPS, and fast attack speed base with high critical strike chance in claw is necessary. We are Rider and we stacking frenzy charges. It gives so many attack speed and damage, 40% spell suppress and 50% elemental elements avoid. It gives so many space to our gears. 20% exposure is very good for this build because we're dealing 3 elemental damage. Overall, it's very comprehensive ascendancy. So let's talk about how Lightning Strike work. Lightning Strike is melee skill, also a projectile skill. We mainly focus on scaling projectile damage, so we don't want any melee tag in this build, like increased melee damage or melee critical strike chance and multiplier. Everything about melee is not improve the build so much. It will still improve melee hit damage, but we're actually scaling projectile damage. And we gain far shot from the flagging. We will gain far shot benefit very easy with Nimitz. And Lightning Strike can hit the ground without targeting enemies, so we need non-vaal strike skill target additional nearby enemies to achieve it. When we stand in the right positions, we can hit on the ground and the target in one attack. It makes the target take 2 extra projectiles impacts, 1 outgoing from the ground and 1 return. I think I misled many players before, I'm sorry about that. Lightning Strike return projectiles will only hit once to the same target. All other projectiles from the same attack will not hit the same target multiple times. Like the video I posted yesterday, these projectiles is keep chaining between the wall and the black star. But those projectiles actually not dealing damage. It sounds like complicated. Overall, from the same attack, Pierce projectile can hit once, return can hit once, and chain can hit once. No matter how many projectiles we have, every projectile behaviors will only hit once to the same target from the same attack. In our gears, we are using some specific unique. The flagging give fast shot, projectile speed and damage. You are suffering, let us apply stronger shock effect and increase damage taken to enemies. Without you or suffering, we cannot apply high shock effect on enemies. And each type of elements is included: chill, ignite, shock, poison, bleeding, breather, zap, and scorch. We have breather from boots implicit. My claw have chance to poison. You don't have to get this, it's not necessary. The taming is very good in this build. I try to find another ring to replace the taming, but I don't find it. You can use +1 maximum frenzy charges if you want, but I won't do that. Nimbus ring, of course, projectile return and random directions. Random directions is actually good in mapping. We don't have to aim specific directions when we have no nearby enemies. For rare items, we do need some specific modifiers on specific gears, and another just for cap our resistances, spell suppress and maximum life. +1 maximum frenzy charges and non-vaal strike skill target 2 additional nearby enemies on gloves. Breather ground, searing exact implicit and elements avoid either over implicit on boots. Stun avoid and elements avoid on body armor. It don't need to be well prefixed actually, crafted prefix is fine in most cases. Double damage on shield is not necessary, you can get it if you want. So you don't want to find something exactly same with my gears. Adjust yourself if the budget is good enough for you. For the match blood, we're using life flasks that immune bleed and corrupted blood. We're using silver flux and additional elemental resistances. On slot effect will also increase by prefix and enchantments. Elemental resist for me to pick blue altar randomly. You can get stun avoid or anything else that you like. Sulfur flux with reduced curse effect. We need at least 52% reduced curse effect to achieve curse immune. Diamond flux with attack speed. And gold flux with crafted increased rarity. We can craft reduced reflected damage taken in another gold flux and swap if needed. And we will swap to granite flux with tier 1 increased armor sometimes. I only swap when I fight the league boss. To craft this flux, we don't craft specific suffix on specific flux, like silver should be attack speed. If when we craft diamond flux and you get tier 1 attack speed, you should keep it and you're going to craft another flux. We still have crafted increased rarity as our space. So if you get what I say, crafting flux will be easier. But we better have crafted item rarity in gold flux, because sometimes we will swap with granite. So we don't want to lose something when we swap our flux. For the passive skill tree, we will mainly talk about jewels, charms, and something you need to beware. Leather Pride with 5 double damage. If you cannot find this, you can buy 4 double damage. But you need to adjust passive skill tree a little bit because some double damage apply on resourcefulness. I will post the number on description below. The number is matter, under who is doesn't matter. So you don't want to fight under Rakata only. You can fight a same number under Com or Akoya. A little tips for you. Thread of Hope with very large range to allocate piercing shot, multi-shot and stun immune. In this setup, we need this cluster to help us cap our stun immune. But actually just one more point, right? So you can get Mark the Prey with Impossible Escape if you want. Primeval Force is unnecessary. Large cluster jewel mainly for fan of blades and jewel slot. We don't use wind up this time, just fan of blades and anything else. Alterations and regal crafting, not gonna be easy, so you have to be patient or buy it from market. Medium cluster jewel is unnecessary. For the charms, we need melee hit have chance to fortify, the higher the better. Warcry Grand Rage per 5 power when less than 25 in any tier. Critical strike have curling strike, chance to gain power charge on critical strike, the higher the better. The rest just looking for something useful like evasion rating per frenzy charges or elusive effect. I'm using that which was taken like this. The necessary modifier is take no extra critical damage while elusive and adjust with your other charms to achieve all of this. So we're also using red black banner to gain rage from the charm. Swap to second weapon slot and Warcry. This is not very smooth but very powerful. When I use this method to gain rage, I will move to cancel the attack actions. If we are attacking with multi-strike and we swap weapon, it's not gonna be swapped, so we have to move and make sure we are moving and it will swap. So just move and swap and move and swap back. We also need our main hand weapon have enough attributes to keep our gears available on second weapon slot. We don't want to die when we swap weapon slot. Take no extra critical damage while elusive is perfect to against primal wisps buff. We will always have elusive when we mapping, so this is very important. The skill gem is very basic. Steel skin with cast when damage taken as our guard skill, stable marks and mark on hit as our mark skill, berserk and ancestor protector. Make sure on top of this all support by life tap, and we will talk about mobility skill and aura skill more detail. Our whirling blade is supported by rage. It helps us sustain our rage easier. But when we're running a map that have tons of monsters, we will always get hit and our rage basically sustained. So sometimes when we roll a map have elemental reflect, we can swap rage to brutality, so we won't kill ourselves by whirling blade. Flame dash for teleport terrain that whirling blade cannot do, and debuff grasping vines and poison. Overall, just use flame dash if you feel you are getting slow. And our aura pick depend on resonance scanning from Trinity support. If we're not getting resonance, we have to swap another aura. The options is between Wrath and Anger. I'm using Anger right now. I have no enough intelligence to use Wrath. Of course, we are using Grace and Enlighten level 3. Our main skill is supported by Awaken Elemental Damage with Attack, Awaken Multi-Strike, Awaken Aether Lightning, Nightblade, and Trinity. And make sure you have enough mana to use the skills twice. This is pretty much completed build, so I think the gem setup is already the best. For map modifiers, we cannot run Reflect physical damage. Monster increased accuracy is very bad to us. We are evasion defense based. We have to be careful, action speed cannot be slow when we take many yellow whips, because we also chill enemy to against yellow whips. For the Pantheon, Soul of Lunaris is very good for this league. Physical and elemental damage reductions is very good for mapping. 10% chance to avoid projectiles also increase the chance of survive. Soul of Aberrate is necessary. Elemental elements avoid is not included. Burning, bandit, kill all and get 2 passive skill points. So finally talk about the playstyle. The playstyle you can do Zip Zap with Whirling Blade, or you can do Walking the Dog, walking this monster like a dog. The first rule is make sure you are moving, and when we're facing a tanky monsters, we're gonna Whirling Blade through the target and apply Breathe Ground. So I think this is the video today. Good luck everyone. Like, share and subscribe. See you guys in the next one. Goodbye.